What's going on, guys? Welcome back. So, Chewbacca, he's out, and he's making quite a splash. Originally, when he first came out, there was a lot of concerns with him on defense. We were finding that he was getting absolutely trucked on defense against Traya teams, which was not what was supposed to be happening. But as the past few days have progressed, we find some different compositions for him with that team in CLS. And one that I want to show you guys is Enfys Nest. You know, Enfys has always been a meta character since she came out. She's very hard to kill. She does a lot of debuffs. She's very tough. And I've found that throwing her in that 5th spot is great. I've also found that old Ben with Enfys Nest on a CLS Chewie team is also a great combination. I'm going to show you guys some of that too. But, you know, man, I'm thinking, like, while we're doing this, I'm going to throw on this Chewie mask a little bit. You know, it makes some noises when you open the mouth. I mean, that's great. So I'm probably going to have that in the video somewhere. But really, I want to show you guys how Enfys Nest really helps crush the Traya and Emperor Palpatine teams on your shard. If someone is still foolish enough to run Emperor Palpatine on there, they probably will not be after you see Enfys Nest in the lineup. So let's go ahead and get into it. So you're probably wondering, why Enfys Nest in that 5th spot? What does she bring to the table? Like I mentioned before, she's very tough, she's hard to kill. That's because of her unique. Whenever she takes damage, she gains the bonus crit chance and the stacking bonus protection that cannot be dispelled, and that makes her pretty much immune to most damage. So, you know, she's very hard to kill there. As you've found before in the past, CLS teams have a hard time taking her out too. So she could be a good defensive character for those other CLS Chewie teams that you have out there. Who knows? But really, what you're here for is her special Kinetite Charge. This deals physical damage to all enemies and dazes them for 2 turns and removes 20% turn meter from each enemy that had full health. Pretty much, this is the opening salvo. You're going to have her going fast. She's going to hopefully go first. So she's pretty much going to have her way with the enemy team here. She's going to apply the daze, and she's going to remove 20% turn meter from the enemy team. Her Omega gives her 40% turn meter for each enemy that had less than full health. But really, you're only going to have to worry about this in case Han had his opening salvo and removed all the protection from someone with Chewie on there. So not really something you have to worry about here. But also, this attack cannot be countered or evaded. This is very powerful here. You're not going to be able to have these attacks be evaded. They can't counter on you. So pretty much, you're going to land this. You're going to have to pass the potency check with her to make sure she lands a daze and removes a 20% turn meter. That's why ideally you want to go with a potency cross on her. Unfortunately, the potency cross that I usually like to go with is 6 dots. And since she's only 6 stars, I cannot put her on her at this time. But once I get her up to gear 12 and the 7 stars, she's definitely going to be getting this on there because that bonus potency, she's only running 44.4% right now. That bonus potency is really going to help her there. So yes, as you can see, you want to run speed sets on her. You want her going fast. She needs to be going first on your team. So throw your best speed mods on her, which is really something you don't have to worry about with the rest of your team, but that's a video for another time. Really, you just want to go for a fast Enfys Nest here and make sure she lands those debuffs, so stack up her potency as well. So that is her kit. That's what she's bringing here. Let's put this into action so you guys can see just how deadly this can be on offense. Alright, so first up we have this Palpatine team here, double Zeta with Zeta on Scion, Nihilus, and double Zetas on Traya and Thrawn. We're going to fight this team first. I want to show you guys what to expect with this, and you're going to see just how quickly you can demolish this double Zeta Emperor Palpatine team. And the best part is going to be because of all of those debuffs, all the days and the debuffs that you're going to be laying around is just going to absolutely wreck things. So we're going to go ahead and try to remove the turn meter there, but as you can see, that did not work out too well. But you can see that pretty much we are going to lose most of this team, or pretty much going to kill most of this team right away. So now Thrawn's low on health, and Scion is just about dead. We'll slow this down because I'm tearing through this team way too quickly. There goes Scion, and there goes Thrawn. So now we got the Isolate on Chewbacca, which is fine. We will take care of that here in a minute, but really I want to go straight for Darth Traya here, and I want to go ahead and get rid of her. So you can see that we are doing a pretty solid job here. Speed this up a little bit for you guys. So they just have those 2 characters left. The Saber Throw did not kill my Chewbacca, which is good. We'll go ahead and get some more damage in there. Now the special for for Enfys Nest. If they have protection, it ignores the armor on the character and does 50% more damage. I don't know if that's before or after the protection goes away, but you can see here we're at 340. We were running slow for most of the battle, and we are pretty much done here. Throw on this. We'll just, just milk it a little bit, and we will wrap up with this attack from Enfys Nest here. So you can see, minute and a half, battle's already over. So that daze with that Zeta Emperor Palpatine lead, whenever a debuff on an enemy expires, Empire and Sith allies gain 5% turn meter. What this means is with that daze, they can no longer gain that turn meter. That was the benefit of your Emperor Palpatine leads. They gained that turn meter, especially if you ran something like this with the combat analysis on R2-D2. You pretty much were always cleansing because you're critically hitting, and those are cleansing your debuffs, but that would also give so much turn meter to the enemy team because of all those debuffs that you're cleansing. But with that daze out there, they can't gain that bonus turn meter, so you can cleanse to your heart's content and not have to worry about the enemy team getting all those debuffs cleansed and helping to boost their turn meter. So that's what happens with a Zeta Emperor Palpatine lead. Let's take a look at this Darth Traya lead. And you can see here we're running a Traya with a Triumvirate, we're running Sith Trooper and Grand Admiral Thrawn. We're probably going to go for Grand Admiral Thrawn first because Thrawn here is the one character that can kind of mess things up because he can cleanse, and so that's why you want to go for him quickly. So we'll go for Thrawn first. You can see we are already doing some pretty solid work there. We'll go ahead and finish off Thrawn and land the daze. There we go, and look at that. So we've already done some pretty solid damage to Sith Trooper. We're going to keep taking him out, but hopefully we can go ahead and there you go. Trooper is gone. We'll go ahead and then, because we have the tenacity down that just landed from Chewbacca assist, we can pretty much destroy the turn meter on Traya, and she's pretty much gone. Look at that. We got 40 seconds in, and Traya is gone. I mean, that's just absurd. And we can stun Scion here, and we can go ahead and start trucking him, and pretty much we're going to kill him here in a minute. And once Scion is gone, the threat to this is pretty much over. In fact, I can just throw it on auto here, and look at this. With that Enfys Nest, you just completely wreck this team. The daze shuts things down there because Nihilus can't gain the bonus turn meter. That's been part of the problem, which we'll go into Nihilus here in a second. But look at that. Number 1 arena, destroying those Traya teams with this lineup. Now, there are some things here with mods, which is going to be a completely different video, but you gotta admit, with this lineup with Chewbacca and Nest in there, it just completely wrecks things. Seen a couple battles in progress. I've walked you through them. I've got some battles I want to show you guys with Old Ben and Enfys Nest in the lineup, no R2-D2. I want to show you guys one of those battles because that battle is over in about a minute, and it just completely wrecks a team, and it's over in no time at all. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to that. I'll talk a bit more about Enfys Nest. I'll talk a bit more about Old Ben, and what are your strengths and weaknesses between the two, and if it's worth running both of those instead of R2-D2 in your lineup. So this footage comes to me courtesy of Azrael, one of my patrons. Thank you very much for donating this footage. As you can see, he's running that team, no R2-D2, Old Ben, and Enfys Nest, and he's fighting Enfys Nest on the other team, which in my opinion is probably the most dangerous team for you to fight because of the Enfys Nest just has a really good time, just because CLS has a really rough time running against an Enfys Nest team. But you can see here, we got the dazes out pretty quickly, and then right after that, we followed up with the ability block and the mind tricks from Old Ben. Removes a ton of turn meter from that team. So pretty much no one on that enemy team has moved yet, and that is important because now you can just have your way with things here. You can take out Nihilus, you can take out Traya, and things are gonna go pretty well for your team. You can see that we got the Dispel here, but we have that Zeta taunt on Old Ben, so he's gonna keep taunting anyways, and you can go ahead and take out Nihilus, and in a moment, and there you go, Darth Scion is gone. So pretty much at this point, the only thing you really have to worry about is going to be Enfys Nest, but we'll take care of that here in a minute. For now, we're going to go ahead and keep taking care of Traya, get her wiped out because she could be the rough part for you if you're not careful. But also make sure that you can get rid of Thrawn and his Fracture too. So you can see we one-shot Traya pretty much there with that and followed up with a double tap from Han and took out the Enfys Nest on the enemy team. You can see here a minute and a half has passed, and pretty much this battle was really never in doubt. The enemy team never really had control, and that's the important thing here, is that the Old Ben and Enfys Nest combo just shuts them down. So with Old Ben and Enfys Nest in there, you're going to be able to have your way with that team from the very beginning. However, there's two very important things that you have to have here in order to make this work, and two things that could really mess you up. Number one, R2-D2. That's the important thing. If you're sacrificing R2-D2, that means you're getting rid of both his number crunch Zeta, where he buffs up your team, especially gives them more health, and number two, he gets rid of that combat analysis Zeta, which means you can cleanse yourself, and that's very important because then you can't get rid of pain and you're forced to attack Scion. So getting rid of R2-D2, that is a big risk that you have to keep in mind. So there is that problem. Number two, you have to have very, very good speed mods for both Enfys Nest and Old Ben, because you need them to go near the beginning of the match, which means you need to run 250 bonus speed on Old Ben at least, and you need to be pushing 300 speed with Enfys Nest. So you need to have two very solid speed sets on them, and that's not something I can currently do, so I can't run that team. But the footage I showed you, they ran it pretty well. You can see here, if I give Old Ben my best speed set, he is only going to run about 253 speed. He doesn't have any gear 12 plus on him, so he could get another 12 on that and be at 265 speed, but that's about as fast as I can run Old Ben right now. So there is that. I could get some 3 more bonus speed from the 6-dot mods here, but that's about the cap that I'm going to be able to get on Old Ben. So that means I'm sacrificing my best speed mods there, which means I'm going to be running a secondary speed set on Enfys Nest, which means that she is going to be running somewhere around 260, 250 speed. So when I have speed sets like that I'm going to be running on her, you can see 285 speed, so it's going to be okay, but that means I'm also sacrificing some mods on Chewie that you may have seen there for a moment. And so yeah, then I'm sacrificing speeds from Chewie. So it's gonna be very tough to get those speed sets with both Old Ben and Enfys Nest. So that is something to keep in mind. You need some really good speed mods, and you gotta be sure that you're gonna be able to perform well without the Zetas from R2-D2 with his cleansing and the number crunch Zeta. So keep that in mind. If you want to run a team like that with both Old Ben and Enfys Nest in, you're going to have your way with them. That is dependent on if you can get them fast enough. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. I know you guys are going to have questions about this. You guys are probably wondering some different stuff about modding. We'll cover that in a video coming here very soon. So if you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys later.